Ladies and gentlemen, they've done it. DICE has finally managed to talk about Battlefield 2042 Season 1. And alongside that absolutely unprecedented information comes a sort of a surprise update with a lot of very coherent design changes, which is, again, absolutely unheard of. In this video, we'll be going over absolutely everything you need to know about the latest updates, and if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, and subscribe to the channel if you wish to see more videos like this. We are nearing ever so closely to 23,400 subscribers, and join the Discord, link is in the description. So, right off the bat, this update comes out actually today, the day this video is up. The update will also be out, so in the comments section, tell me, what do you think of the changes? And speaking of changes, in the general section, right off the bat, we have two aim assist changes. The first one being aim assist has been improved while aiming at moving targets. Hopefully, this improves aim assist and doesn't make it too strong like we see in some other FPS games, but Battlefield 2042's aim assist was apparently just barely working, so hopefully this gets it to where it should have been at all along. And apparently they have fixed aim assist incorrectly acquiring targets directly through thin obstacles, a classic aim assist feature. The next change is a highlight for, I think, the entire update. They delivered improvements that should apparently help to reduce input lag. I DM my friend Freethy, who's well known in the PC optimization community, to try to see how much they reduced it by. I wanted him to test it, so if I get an answer from him, I will let you guys know in a future video, or maybe he'll make a video of his own. But either way, reducing input lag sounds fucking great to me, considering this game feels like I'm kiting every single thing that I do. But moving on to the last general change, for you controller players, they adjusted trigger weight to ensure that inputs feel more responsive when applying successive inputs. I don't recall anyone complaining about this, but I thought that change was worth mentioning. Jumping down to the gadgets section, we have some pretty important changes here in my opinion. They removed the placement delay for deployable gadgets, so now they appear instantaneously. This can actually affect Irish's wall. So before, apparently there was a small delay from placing it to it actually coming up. Now when you click the button, it'll come up instantaneously in front of you. I can see some people trolling with this, so we'll have to see how that plays. And apparently they improved deployable gadgets, so they're now easier to deploy. The most important changes in this gadget section definitely are to the insertion beacon or the spawn beacon. They increased the size of the model of the spawn beacon, so it's just easier to see, and they also made the spawn beacon visible from farther away. I wish they would make the spawn beacon in this game beep like previous Battlefield games, and I honestly wouldn't mind if they just used the old model and updated it to kind of a 2042 style looking spawn beacon, but the models based off of, say, the ones used in BF4, BF3. Because I don't know about you, but sometimes I mistake the spawn beacon for the trophy system you put on the ground, but maybe I'm just completely blind. As far as game modes, massive changes here, actually. They have effectively admitted that Breakthrough plays like garbage on 128 players and are removing it. The reasoning that they gave was, when reviewing the available experiences in all-out warfare, we felt that 128-player modes are better suited for Conquest, where gameplay spaces are larger and where you have a more natural fit for sandbox gameplay. Basically, 128-player Breakthrough was just an absolute clusterfuck, and they decided that it's not even worth keeping it in the game. They give further reasoning, saying, when reviewing Breakthrough, we noted that the 64-player version represented a more, quote, tactical experience. Now I'm going to stop here. Tactical experience. Let's dissect that. What does that even mean, DICE? Tactical experience. There's really nothing tactical about it. I hate when they use these buzzwords to please Reddit. Like, it's just so annoying. But continuing this paragraph, reducing our player count helps to remove some of the chaos from the experience, and in combination with the reductions that we have made to the number of available combat vehicles, it means players are better able to hold front lines more effectively. Players will also find more space to work together and fulfill their individual roles. As a result, squads in Breakthrough 64 have a better opportunity to work together, flank the enemy, place a spawn beacon, use their plus menu to attach suppressors, then clear, and hold a point. TLDR, the game is more playable and there's less chaos and it's less random, so you can actually play the game. That's what that actually means. Jumping back to one of the most important changes in this entire update, they finally say something about Battlefield 2042 Season 1. They state that up next in our update schedule is the release of Season 1, currently set for release in early June. So assume like latest June 20th maybe. We'll have to see what iteration of early June DICE decides this time. But jumping back to the breakthrough removal of 128 players, what does everyone think about that? Now, personally, I only really play breakthrough 128 players because I feel that breakthrough is really the only real playable base game mode in this game. In my opinion, the 64-player breakthrough, at least on these maps with the way the out of bounds and just areas are set up, I don't think 64 players plays correctly either. I found it boring, and I found it lacking action and density of action. And that's a really good segue into the next point, because further changes they made to Breakthrough. Breakthrough 64 for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X/S now have set map sizes for specific maps. So for Discarded, Manifest, Orbital, and Kaleidoscope, you will now be playing 64-player Breakthrough on the 128-player version of the map. For Hourglass, Breakaway, and Renewal, you will play the 64-player version for the 64-player version of Conquest. Now, the whole playing 64-player Breakthrough on 128-player maps thing, I don't really think that's going to work out well, but we're going to have to see how it plays. Maybe it'll play a little better than we think, or I think. Now, moving on to two absolutely beautiful, flawless, GIA certified changes. I mean, we're talking about gleaming jewels in the darkness type shit. Specialist changes. Angel. Angel will no longer be able to grant armor plates via his supply bag. That's a very needed nerf. Angel was absolutely busted if you didn't know. He could change his loadout at any time. He could have, theoretically, unlimited health, unlimited armor, and unlimited ammo if you used the medic crate rather than the med pen, because obviously the medic crate regens and med pens, well, you know, they don't. But that's a very, very needed change in my opinion. And to my favorite change of all, honestly, this might be my favorite change of Battlefield 2042 so far. Boris. Boris's sentry gun has been absolutely gutted, and I fucking love it. I'm going to laugh maniacally when I go to bed tonight. You fucking pussies that play Boris. Fuck all of you. Hashtag fuck Boris in the comments section, boys. But anyway, spotting via the sentry gun now spots you on the minimap rather than giving them a wall hack spot. The sentry gun will no longer track you through walls, which I can't even believe that was a thing that was happening, and they had to fix that. And basically, they gutted the sentry gun. They reduced the HP. They reduced the damage. They cut the fire rate in half. So combined with the damage nerfs and the fact that the fire rate was reduced by 200 RPM, that right there, you should almost never die to a Boris turret now. They reduced the projectile speed, which means that it won't hit you at distance as often. The projectile speed, believe it or not, for the Boris turret before was 960 meters a second. There was almost no getting away from it, even at distance. But again, I am grinning from ear to ear about this change, and I just couldn't be happier. It was far overdue, and I'm very happy to see it happen. Moving on to weapons. Update 4.0 introduced an unintended damage change behavior to some of the weapons via incorrect values on their damage tables. In this update, we're restoring performance to its intended design, and you should feel an overall improvement to weapon performance. Now, I thought this was referring to the fact that they accidentally added sweet spots to the SVK and SCAR. I think it is, but if it's referring to the fact that other weapons were bugs and maybe some unintended like damage things happened to other weapons, I didn't notice it, but hopefully it is fixed now. The recoil affecting attachments has been lowered while the base weapon recoil has been improved to compensate. This is essentially a net zero change. Bolt action sniper breath control now lasts a maximum of 5 seconds, with an added 5-second penalty if used entirely. That's interesting. I didn't really think there was anything wrong with like sniper breath control, but whatever. Underbarrel attachments no longer affect weapon deploy speed, so if you were using a grenade launcher, you were actually nerfing your weapon's ability to deploy. And the overall horizontal recoil for DMRs has been reduced. Not that anyone really uses them. But one of the most interesting changes in here, sidearms are now faster to deploy. I actually really like that. I thought sometimes the sidearms were a little sluggish, and I'm actually very happy to see that change. Moving on to specific weapon changes. The AC-42, they increased the AC-42 distance damage drop-off at higher ranges. The most interesting, and I think potentially overpowered as shit change to the AK-24. Removed the AK-24 semi-auto fire mode. You might think, why would they do that? Here comes the next change. Increased AK-24 burst fire rate of fire to 900 RPM. This could potentially be a major problem, considering the full auto fire rate of the AK-24 sits around, I believe, 650 to 670 off the top of my head. 900 RPM with the AK's damage model is a massive potential problem. Another massive potential problem, but this time for you vehicle players, the NTW50 has had its effectiveness against vehicles increased, and they added an additional damage multiplier versus tank tracks. So people that use the NTW50, shoot the tanks in the tracks. Thank you very much. They again increased the PKP's recoil. I don't know what they're trying to do to the poor old PKP. I don't know what the PKP did to them, but the PKP's recoil is semi-difficult for me to control right now. I can only imagine how it's going to feel after they increase it another time. The Scar has seen some improved damage at short to medium range. Taking down an enemy now requires 5 instead of 4 bullets while at 20 meters. And they decreased the Scar's damage drop-off. Moving on to the SVK, they reduced the SVK's horizontal recoil to make it easier to land follow-up shots. They increased the SVK's distance damage drop-off past 40 meters. And the SVK's high-power rounds damage lowered past 150 meters. Taking down an enemy now requires 3 instead of 2 bullets. The SVK is going to be terrible now, in my opinion, but whatever. And last but certainly not least, the vehicle section of this update. They state that following the release of Update 4.0, we're continuing to make balance adjustments to vehicle gameplay by updating the total number of vehicles that can be active at any time across maps in Conquest and Breakthrough. Namely, Conquest 128, Kaleidoscope reduced each team light ground vehicle allocation by 1, and they did the same to Manifest Conquest 128. For Breakthrough 64, they adjusted Sector 4 on Breakaway to reduce the amount of vehicles for both attackers and defenders to 1. They did the same to Manifest and Hourglass, and actually a bunch of other maps as well. Basically, just remember that they reduced the amount of active vehicles for the game, so that is good. And in the biggest and most welcome change, I think, potentially almost ever in Battlefield 2042, if you watched this video to the end, you're going to have some sweet songs serenaded into your ears in a moment. The MC5 Bolt is now a part of the armored vehicle category, meaning it has been removed from the transport vehicle category, resulting in far less Bolt usage. You should almost never see a Bolt, certainly not in the numbers that we saw early on in the game, and basically, I'm going to say RIP Bolt. Not that anyone will miss it, because fuck Bolts. So guys, that is going to wrap it up for this update recap. If you watched the end of the video, I love you very much. I will give you a firm smooch directly on the forehead. If you enjoyed the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord, link is in the description, and follow me on Twitch. I'll be playing the new update on stream. Love to see some of you guys there. If you are new to the Twitch channel, it will tell me and I will say hello to you. I will see you guys tomorrow, and thank you guys so much for watching.